Welcome to Read Your Comics. Today I'm looking at The Incredible Hulk, number 350. Thanks for joining me today. I'm looking at the second part of this 1980s Hulk versus Thing battle. But before I do that, I just want to give a quick thanks to all the viewers' support. Every like, comment, and subscription is appreciated. If you're enjoying positive comic content, please consider hitting thumbs up. Comments are always encouraged, and if you haven't already, why not subscribe so you never miss out on any future videos. I created this channel to entertain, inform, and maybe even inspire you to read some comics. If you think that's a good message, and other comic fans need it in their feeds, then your likes, shares, and subs tell the YouTube algorithm to put it in front of them. Also want to take a quick moment to promote the Ed Piskor Cartoonist Kayfabe Christmas in July. This is the time of year to get any doubles you have, or go hit up the dollar bins, spend, $15-20, get some books, take them to those little libraries in your neighborhood, fill those up. If you look back on where and when you got your first comic, my guess is it was not at a comic shop. It was at a convenience store, a grocery store, a bookstore, somewhere that comics are not available today. So if we can put comics in front of kids, they still enjoy them. We need to keep this medium going strong, so go fill up those little libraries on the last weekend of July, and if you decide to share it on social media, tag it, hashtag comic book Christmas in July. Now let's get back into this book. Right off the bat, this cover, I think it sings. I remember picking this one up off the store. I got this at a convenience store originally, not that original copy, clearly, but the first time I bought this book, I did buy it at a convenience store. I remember seeing this and just being like, holy cow, Dr. Doom, who I was aware of. I really didn't know a lot about the Fantastic Four. I knew who the Thing was, but I didn't really know much about him. And I didn't really know the history of these two and their titanic battles at that point. But this cover just jumps right out at you. It is Jeff Purvis, and it's inked by Terry Austin, who also does the inside. One thing about Austin's inks, I feel like he does not get in the way of an artist. He actually inks to their style anytime you kind of see Austin on somebody, most notably with John Byrne, but any other time I've seen him too, he doesn't add extra, like Joe Sinnott always kind of has that like Kirby-esque feel. So if you draw something, he's going to give it a little Kirby touch to it. Terry Austin doesn't really do that. I think he just helps bring out the pencil marks of the artist. And as we jump into this, you'll see a difference from the last few issues, I think. So in my last video of FF320, I mentioned how I didn't read that issue until years later. I jumped straight into this one, and I don't think that you really have to read that last one. It's a good issue, but I don't think that you had to read it, which is probably why I never went out seeking it. We left off, the Hulk looked beaten, the real Hulk, the gray Hulk, looked beaten up by the pineapple Thing. And all of a sudden, a green Hulk showed up. And I think when I picked this book up as a kid too, that's something that just confused me. Because I did not read that FF issue, but I don't think you don't need it as we go along. But I remember thinking like, whoa, there's two Hulks in this. Before the fall. And I'm convinced that Jeff Purvis does the lettering for here and a lot of the sound effect lettering, even though we got classic letterer Joe Rosen doing everything else. So the Thing is excited because, he's never been able to really best the Hulk with strength, but he's all maxed up in this pineapple-looking power now, and he thinks that the real Hulk is showing up. And he sounds like the old Hulk. He's green, he's, talking in first person and just ready to take him on. While the gray Hulk's kind of look a little dejected. And we get some good Hulk Thing action here. I like the way Purvis does the pineapple-looking Thing as opposed to the way he was done in the FF issue. Like if we look here, like they're almost rounded rocks that are jutting out. Like anywhere you look. and everything's got like a really heavy dark shadow underneath it. But Purvis makes it look more gravelly, like thick gravel. And this is the lettering that I think Purvis is doing. He likes to use a Q instead of a CK or just a K. Prack. Wabam. Just solid action. This is an action two-parter. Then you get the real Hulk feeling like, what happened? Like, how did I get beaten by the Thing? That's never happened. He's feeling down on himself. And Doom shows up and is like, oh, my friend, it's okay. You did your best. He's just that more, I warned you, he's that much more powerful now. I don't love this panel because the Hulk looks small. And it may be that the Hulk is small because, you know, he's been beaten and he's feeling like a weakling, and he keeps saying, I'm puny next to him. So I don't know if that's just like a size mistake or if that was purposeful. Artistic continuity error happening here because in the last issue, the Hulk was just down to his pants, but Purvis wanted him still with his, you know, kind of shirt hanging on a little bit. And this is going on for a bit. The Thing is just walloping on the Gray Hulk or the Green Hulk. They land out this music hall in Radio City. Well, there, that's the front door. The Hulk hits right there. So we're going to assume, though, but he's coming in the side in this. I like this panel a lot. When I was rereading this, I really looked at this panel. I love the perspective on it. The backstage wall with the hole in it. And, you know, the motion line to show where the Hulk flew through it and landed on the stage. And then you got the Thing coming through, too. And that's a pretty cool looking thing. Now, in the past, the Thing should have only been about 6 foot, 6'2", something like that. I don't know if he, like, got taller when he maxed out. It looks like Purvis leaves off those spikes on his knees and elbows, too. Yeah, I don't think he didn't put the spikes on his elbows and stuff. I think that in his feet, that looks a lot better. He looks more traditional Thing, but just a little bit more bumpy, but not smooth bumpy like, you know, the original Thing. So now in the alleyway, see, look how small the Hulk looks right there. And Doom looks gigantic compared to the Hulk right there. It's a well-drawn panel, good background and stuff, but the Hulk does look too small. Anyway, Doom is going to explain that it's a robot. And this is a nice touch that I did not pick up on when I was a kid reading this. And it really just dawned on me within the last couple of years when I read the Eternals for the first time. This Hulk robot is the Hulk robot from the Eternals. I think it's number 14, I want to say. There was like a 2 or 3 issue story of a cosmic powered Hulk robot because Kirby didn't want the Eternals really to be part of the Marvel Universe. Editorial wanted them to use the Hulk because the Hulk was coming out with a TV show or it was in development or something. They wanted him to use the Hulk, and he did not want to use a Marvel character. So instead he made it a robot, and he gave it some kind of cosmic power so that it was strong enough to be able to put up a fight against Icarus. But at the end of that story, when they beat that Hulk, they pretty much just leave it in the sewer. And this is a nice touch. And it says it right here, Eternals 14 and 15. This is a nice touch that Doom said he found the robot, and was impressed with its sophistication, and he didn't know the origins of it, but he went ahead and like stripped it down and rebuilt it. And he said he kind of just set it in the sewer or put it in like storage so he could call it if he ever needed it. And I guess this was the time when he needed it. But I thought that was a nice, you know, callback by Peter David to something that took place in probably 12, 13 years before this issue came out. And I don't remember even reading that at the time. I probably did read it and I was like, what's the Eternals? But just kept going. So that lets you know what the Hulk, this robot is. Now, I don't think it still has its cosmic amped up ability, but Doom makes it out like it was sophisticated enough that it'll hold on for a few minutes anyway. as he battles the thing. So this almost gives us a classic Hulk thing battle with a green Hulk, but of course it's a robot. I like how they're picking up buildings from the stage and smashing them against each other. And this is that Purvis lettering. It has to be. Joe Rosen didn't do stuff like this. This smash going across 2 panels. I mean, I like that stuff. And the Thing starts to realize that this Green Hulk is not getting any stronger. And every time he's battled the Hulk, he's always gotten stronger as he gets madder. But this isn't doing anything. So he kind of does a rope-a-dope and lets the Hulk, the robot Hulk, pound on him for a minute and taunts him the whole time. And he's like, yeah, this isn't right. So he trips up the Hulk robot and just starts putting pressure right on his chest. Instead of pounding and punching on it, he's just going to push. And sure enough, robot parts expose. He immediately knows who's done this. It's Doom, right? Robot Doom is involved. He just starts pulling it apart. And now the Gray Hulk thinks about it for a minute, and he realizes, you know what? I don't get tired. And it's nighttime now. Before, when they were fighting in the FF issue, it was daytime. He was a little weakened. But he doesn't get tired. He's like, that's been the thing. The Thing he would always just get tired. And while the Gray Hulk does get stronger as he gets madder, like the Green Hulk, I guess he does it at a slower rate, which they mentioned earlier on. And he doesn't think he'll get stronger fast enough to keep up. But he figures out he can wear out the Thing. So now he's just going to start taunting Ben Grimm. He's like, here I am. And he's like, oh, you again. So in the FF issue, the Thing didn't realize it was the Hulk. He's like, you kind of look like the Hulk, but the Hulk's green. He's dead. Which is, I look back on that and think, man, this is kind of funny that the Hulk had been gray for 2 years, but other than he interacted with X-Force and Wolverine, but the Marvel Universe at large really didn't know that he was different. They still thought of the Hulk as the big green guy. So at this point, the Hulk in the suit was able to kind of like trick the Thing into not believing he was the Hulk at first. So now the Hulk just thinks this is some goon or like a clone of the Hulk or another. Now he thinks it's another robot even. This is a cool panel, but I do think the Thing looks small in it. So the real Hulk kind of tricks him into going into Central Park. And he's just going to play hit and run for a little bit. So he jumps in and hits the Thing and then gets a couple licks in and then jumps away. And the Thing is like, where did he go? And he's like, oh, he's way over there. So he just takes off running. He runs at him, picks up the tree, and then he's gone again. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, he was way over there again. And the Hulk just keeps doing this. He gets a hit in, pops him real good, and then runs like, a half mile away. So the Thing has to keep chasing him. At one point, he digs under a hole and he's like, where did he go this time? And he pulls him under. Now, he did that in another issue during the McFarlane run, too. He dug underground, and I remember Rick being like, he's getting crafty now, which is kind of scary. And you just see the damage they're doing to Central Park. So the Thing is out of breath. He's like, oh, crud. He's way over there. At this point, the Thing says, he's on the other end of the Great Lawn. Doesn't he get tired? No, a robot wouldn't. But me, I've been on the go for days. Been fighting that gray robot, then the fake Hulk, and now just flat out running for an hour, except for when he jumps out and slugs me. But I don't care how tired I am. This is a matter of pride now. So now the Thing is just being stubborn, and he's not gonna counter the craftiness of the Gray Hulk here, which he still thinks is a robot. And he's running at him, and this time the Hulk doesn't necessarily jump away. This time he just pops him, sends him into the water. Dope. Didn't think I'd just step aside and send you flying into the lake, did you, puny rock man? And last time I checked, rocks don't float. And the Thing gets down there, and he's sinking. But his initial thought is, I took a deep breath before I hit the water, and that gives me about an hour. Which, that has been established that the Thing can breathe. If he takes a deep breath, he can breathe for a while underwater. But the Hulk goes down and finds him, How did he find me? Oh, I'm orange. He couldn't miss me if he tried. So he goes down and he gives the thing the Heimlich, which forces air out and makes him take water in. And he says, I'm drowning. I mean, those are some great panels there. You do kind of feel like, man, the Hulk's going to kill him. But the Thing's able to get one, head bash in as he is able to make his way out of the water, and the Hulk's already out there standing over him, looking at him. You again. Figures. How'd you cover distance? How? And this is the first thing that the Hulk says to him in the 2 issues. I jumped. That voice. Not possible. Anything is possible. Crump. Great panel there. The power going down. And the Hulk's shirt, even though there was an era between the FF issue and this one, I love that the Hulk's shirt just keeps ripping off more and more to where it's just the collar and the tie now. And as the Hulk blacks out, the Thing, as the Thing blacks out, Doom, of course, shows back up. Most impressive. And no longer feeling puny, I presume. I trust I can look to you to serve me when I recapture Latveria, and that you, in turn, will be given power beyond your imagining. When it goes down, call me. Maybe I'll come, but if I do, pal, odds are you'll end up working for me. And they both are thinking as they walk away, fool. Of course, Doom's going to outsmart the Hulk. I love the Hulk. I love his power, but Doom's going to outsmart the Hulk. He outsmarted him here by forcing him and the Thing into a fight that some of it was just revenge on Doom's part, on the Thing. So then Doom kind of pulls a Batman and just disappears while the Hulk's back is turned. And the Hulk's a little irritated because now he has to head back to Las Vegas just by jumping. But on his way out, he sees where Avengers Mansion was, mentions how he was a founding member, which was probably the first time I learned that as a kid. And he goes to check out where Avengers Mansion has kind of been razed. I don't know what was going on in Avengers in that time. And as he's there, Beast is there, and he's mentioning how there's something going on with the Avengers. And, he realizes it's the Hulk. And he basically offers the Hulk, if you come help with this thing, we'll kind of give you immunity. We'll pretend that you're still dead and not come after you. And the Hulk is like, fine, I'll do that. And that's how the issue ends. And it actually leads into an Avengers Annual number 17, I believe it says. I'm not going to cover that on here because that's part of the Evolutionary War. In fact, it's like the last part of it. And the Hulk, while he's in it and he plays he plays a role in it. But I don't think it furthers the story of this Peter David run, other than that you got it right here, that he goes to help and the Avengers don't agree to not come after him. And that's pretty much all you really need to get out of that Avengers issue, unless you're wanting to read the Evolutionary War. The only thing I kind of feel a little more interested in that is because we just went from a Web of Spider-Man crossover to an FF crossover, and now he's showing up in the Avengers Annual. That's a lot to follow for the Hulk, But like I said, I'm not going to cover that on this channel. If you wanted to check it out, it's Avengers Annual number 17. It is the last part of the Evolutionary War, which ran through a few of the Avengers Annuals of this time period. Go check that out if you want. If I end up doing it, it'll be because I do the whole Evolutionary War, but it's not going to be for this Peter David run. I love this issue. I love this matchup. I think it's one of probably the top 3 or 4 of the Hulk Thing battles. I really look at like FF 25-26 as kind of my favorite one, FF 112, and I love that Bernie Wrightson, even though it's not really a throwdown Hulk versus Thing, I love that Hulk and Thing graphic novel by Bernie Wrightson. But I put this up there. It's the first time you get the maxed out Thing at his peak level of power versus not quite the peak level of Hulk power. It was just a nice kind of flip of the script on the Hulk Thing matchups of old. Plus it's got Dr. Doom in it, and who doesn't love a good Machiavellian Dr. Doom putting the chess pieces in place to further his own ends kind of story. So that's it. That's all I got for Hulk 350. This is not an expensive book. Go out and find your copy. Until next time, read your comics.